Hi. About 1.5 years ago, I was just a one-trick pony. In that, I just knew how to create a single-page application using React. But over the past 1.5 years, I've been able to bulk up as a developer, and now I can create full-stack applications. I can use Next.js as the front end of my applications and sometimes even the back end. I can build robust WebSocket servers, HTTP servers, that is, robust backend systems. I can deploy them very comfortably using AWS EC2. I can also interact with multiple databases such as Postgres, MySQL, MongoDB, Redis, just to name a few. And I've learned just so much over the past 1.5 years. So today I'll be sharing my training regime and the patterns that I follow daily that got me in this place. Let's get started. So the most important thing when you're bulking up as a software developer is of course your diet. That is, what content are you consuming on the internet? Are you just following random meme pages on Twitter and just getting your daily laugh? Well, I don't think that is the right way to go about this. So the first step is to, of course, follow the right people on your social media, like whatever social media it is that you use. Follow the right people, see what they are up to, identify patterns in what the smartest people are doing and what kind of technologies are they supporting. So some of my favorite content creators on the internet are Theo. I really love Theo when he goes over a blog article that he finds interesting and can really impact your day to day life. Another one is Josh Tried Coding, who makes practical, small sized example videos around latest web technologies. And another one is Harkirat Singh, who really deep dives into web technologies and builds projects around them. So, like, these three are definitely worth your time. What I also did was look at a lot of open source code bases and saw the patterns that they were following, the technologies that they were using, and also the folder structure, the linting patterns, and a lot of different subtle things that you can see in someone else's code just by reading through it. So I read a lot of open source code. I went through a lot of open source PRs. Now, what this did was that it helped me in understanding what the latest technologies were and how people were using them. Moreover, because I was reviewing a lot of PRs, I was able to get a hang of how people contributed in the open. Now, this helped me in the place where I work. I became so good at reviewing people's PRs that I was given the responsibility of reviewing everyone's PR. I mean, of course, that is what looking at a lot of PRs does is that you understand how people are collaborating in the real world and how projects are maintained. This is really essential because more often than not, you will be collaborating with other people on projects rather than building them on your own. And this skill is very, very essential for any software developer. Now, after reading through a lot of open source code bases, you'll probably find a few really small, really niche open source code bases where not a lot of people are contributing, but you know that the technology over there is very interesting, upcoming, or probably even being used in a lot of places. What you can do is you can reach out to these people, or maybe just blindly start contributing to them. This is exactly what I did to learn Next.js. There was this open source project going on around which was called Trust Authex. That was basically an open source authentication provider for web applications and even iOS and Android applications. It was basically a competitor of Clerk. So I joined their Discord community and started contributing very heavily into their project. And this is how I really learned Next.js. I mean, just contributing to their community and making tons of PRs, a lot of contributions, interacting with the founders. That really helped me in growing as a software developer and learning Next.js at a really fast pace. Now, the second thing that I did was that I created a lot of my own projects. My own projects in the sense that I gave them my own direction, my own molding, and I had my own vision for them. I didn't just copy projects off blindly from YouTube or GitHub. I created my own ideas and then implemented them myself. Of course, I took a lot of help from ChatGPT to understand what's exactly going on over here. And I also went through a lot of documentation and blogs to understand how do I use this technology to its maximum extent. But I did not stop over there. Another thing that I did was I used to share all my products and all my projects online always. So this is another tip for you. Whenever you're creating any project, don't just stop there. Don't just push the code on GitHub and just leave the project dead. Make content around it. Let people know what you have built. Share your work. Share your work with the right people in the right community. And I'm telling you, this one single step of sharing your work is the most important thing that I've learned over the past one and a half year. Sharing your work is very important. Share your work. Now, since I was getting out of the front end land for the first time, it was very it was a very different experience for me when I entered how to build backend systems. So the third thing that I did was that I learned JavaScript fundamentals. Special mention to Akshay Saini's Namaste JavaScript series, which deep dives into how JavaScript works and talks about topics such as event loops, shadowing, let const var, the differences between let const and var, and many other amazing videos. I would definitely recommend you to check it out. And I also learned about TypeScript because I saw that TypeScript was being used in a lot of open source projects, and I understood that TypeScript brings along a lot of value into any project that it goes into. It provides a lot of type safety, and it just immensely increases development speed. So yeah, I would recommend don't stick to any framework. Rather, learn the fundamentals of a language, learn the fundamentals of programming itself, learn why you're doing this. Go to the first principles of anything. Always start from basics, build on those basics, and then go forward with anything that you want. Software developers, a lot of times, the only thing that we can interact with a computer is by using the terminal. But a lot of us are not comfortable using terminals. So, another exercise regime that I used to follow every day, that instead of using my GUI for interacting with my machine, I gave up on the GUI and I used my terminal for everything. If I had to create a file, I used my terminal. If I had to change the directory, I used the terminal. If I had to open a movie, I used my terminal. I used my terminal for everything to a point that I got so comfortable with the terminal that I could do crazy shit with it. Now, getting comfortable with CLI also helped me in SSHing into any AWS EC2 machine and just playing around with it, cloning in my repo or running Docker images into it without relying on any GUI. Mind blowing power. I would highly recommend that you start getting comfortable with the CLI of your machine. Because I'm telling you that CLI is your best friend in any environment that there is, and you won't always have a GUI to interact with the computer. So it's better to get comfortable with using a terminal. The fifth thing, which is sort of related to the fourth point, is that gave up on the Git GUI that is present in our IDEs. I used to interact with Git only using my terminal and only my terminal. Now, what this did was that it made me more comfortable with the Git CLI. It made me understand specific commands that you can only access using the terminal. And I also understood a lot of advanced topics in a Git, such as cherry picking or proper merge techniques, and also some really subtle and small things that really stand out in a project, such as naming your branch correctly, naming Git commits with the appropriate type, such as probably adding a fixed type to your Git commit, suggesting that it was probably fixing a bug, or a feat commit, which indicates that this was probably a commit that deals with adding a feature to your products. Now, another bonus thing that I was able to do because of my comfort with Git and the terminal was that I created aliases for every Git command that there was out there, so that it was very easy for me to go over the commands in Git that I use daily, such as git add, git commit, git push, git status. I created small three letters or four letters aliases for them using my terminal, and that was just a super productivity boost. I didn't have to write git add, path name, and everything. I used to just write G A space and give the path name of the files that I wanted to add. So yeah, that was about the training regime that I followed over the past 1.5 years very consistently to bulk up as a software developer. And now I'm able to create these videos helping you out. Yeah, persistence and consistency goes a really long way. And that's about it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.